Welcome back to Real Life Answers. My name is Ben, and this is Suicide Awareness Month. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental illness or clinical depression, I would encourage you to seek help from a licensed professional therapist. I'm going to go out on a limb here and let you know that I myself have sought help from one over the past year, as my wife and I have been through a lot together. Sometimes Christians, such as myself, have reservations about going to professional counseling. So what I'd like to do this morning is help you bust 4 myths that often keep Christians from going to licensed professional counselors and getting the help that they need. Seeing a licensed professional therapist means that I lack faith in God. Do you lack faith in God because you go to a doctor and get medicine? Of course not. If we're sick, we need to go to a doctor and we need to get medicine because God has given us doctors and the tools that they have to help make us well. Well, in the same vein, God has given us licensed professional therapists and the tools that they have to help us get well mentally. One of the most potentially misleading statements in all of Christendom that perhaps leads to this misconception is the statement that God is all we need. Well, yes, God is all we need, but there are mediums through which God chooses to be all that we need. One of those mediums is other people, whom He has skilled to help us. Proverbs 24 and verse 6 says, "For you should wage war with sound guidance. Victory comes through many counselors." If I see a licensed professional therapist, I am subscribing to an anti-Christian belief system. Okay, so I understand that the community of psychology has some beliefs that are not in line with Scripture. I completely get that. But just because you go to see them to get help does not mean that you are endorsing every one of their beliefs. That is an absolutely false statement. Also, it's important to understand that it is illegal for a licensed professional counselor to shove their beliefs down your throat. If they begin to do this, or you feel that the advice you're getting is not sound, you can request another therapist, or if it's bad enough, you can actually report them to the State Counseling Board for investigation. Because laws have been put in place that govern counselors want to do that. Now, that being said, what exactly is it that a good counselor does? Because this is defined too. First of all, a good counselor is going to take you, your religion, your personal history into account whenever they counsel you. Second, they're going to assume you to be mentally competent to make your own decisions. Unless you prove otherwise by trying to kill yourself, then they might take you and have you committed, but that's a lengthy process that requires a lot of paperwork and red tape. And then finally, they're going to encourage you to continue in your faith because psychology has grown over the years to recognize that a person's faith is vital to their well-being, so they're not going to try to draw you out of that. And they absolutely will not challenge your personal beliefs unless they consider them to be self-destructive. For example, if I were to say to them, "I'm going to kill myself because God hates me," they would go, "Well, what is it that makes you believe that God hates you?" And from there, they understand enough of Christianity to know that God does not hate you, so they would try and draw you out of that belief that God hates you. Finally, if you're really concerned and uneasy about this, and I would recommend this anyway, couple pastoral counseling with therapy. In addition to seeing a therapist, also see your pastor or find a Christian friend who's grounded in the Scriptures that you can confide in about seeing a counselor and bounce these ideas, these tools that these therapists give you for coping off of them to be sure that they're scriptural. And remember, as you're doing this, the Bible supports it. Proverbs 24 and verse 6 says, "For you should wage war with sound guidance. Victory comes through many counselors." If I see a psychotherapist, I am a weak person. First of all, you're being strong by admitting that you're weak. What do I mean by that? Well, American society has planted this mistaken belief in our brains, mostly via osmosis, that a weak person seeks advice from somebody else. This is absolutely not true. Proverbs 12:15 says, "A stubborn fool considers his own way to be right, but a person who listens to advice is wise." So not only are you being strong in going to see a licensed professional therapist, you are being wise. God did not create us as people to function alone. He created us first and foremost for Himself, but also for a community, the Bible teaches. So you are not being weak by going to see a licensed professional therapist. You're being strong and wise. If I go to see a licensed professional therapist, people will look down on me. How are they going to know you're going unless you tell them? I mean, it's illegal for the office to give out information to anybody about you being there. Also, therapists are instructed in their training, and I have not had one yet that does not abide by this, that if you are in public and they see you across the aisle and say Walmart or the grocery store, they have to wait for you to make contact first. They're not going to walk up to you and go, "Oh, hey, Ben, you don't forget therapy next week. It was good to see you last week, blah, blah, blah." They don't do that kind of thing. They wait for you to talk to them. And some of you are going to say, "Well, Ben, what if somebody sees my car outside the office?" Well, they don't know why you're there. For all they know, you could be taking somebody else there and are in the lobby waiting on them to get through. So they don't know unless you tell them. And which is really more important anyway, your mental health or someone else's opinion? Thank you for joining us today. If you have something you'd like to add to the conversation, please let us know in the comments below. Also, we'll have another video out next week at about the same time, so please join us again. God bless you and have a great day.